upon raising frequencies and expanding consciousness. His uniquely personal approach to energy transference has been widely praised. Dr. Dream has assisted the journeys of thousands of incredible beings on their path of transformation. His website is drdream.com. And who needs to go to the website? Because we have Dr. Dream here in person, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen, Dr. Dream.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to take a moment to get a few things set here. It is an absolute honor to be here in Philadelphia at Free Your Mind with everyone. This is a very important event as far as the Universal Love Galactivations that we do all around the world. I'm very pleased to announce that this is our 100th city to do a galactivation in the last 39 months, and this is our 164th Universal Love Galactivation. And so it is a bit of a milestone to have this happening here in Philadelphia, and particularly at the beginning of the Free Your Mind Conference. The whole point of taking these Universal Love Galactivations all around the world is to not just affect all of the participants in each of these experiences, but to anchor energies and really open up portals, I guess. You know, it's just however we look at things, but it's really all about energy. And since we're all energy, and everything that we look at, see, feel is also energy, we realize that this is where we can have the greatest impact. And so it's a powerful experience, and I ask you now I invite you to just settle in. Close your eyes if you would. When we close our eyes, we move into a different brain waves. Just feel your energy in this moment. Find your breath. Breathing in the life force energy. And on the breath out, just focusing on releasing and letting go what no longer serves you. And again, breathing in the life force energy, the abundant life force energy that is all around us. Really feeling that as it comes into your body. And then just letting go and releasing on the breath out. The reason that it works for us to just let go and release and not have to focus on what we're letting go and releasing on the exhale is that in our lives, as we hold on to things, we don't consciously say, I'm going to hold on to this until it gets in the way of every relationship I have, until I clear it, or until it makes me so sick it stops me in my tracks. But really, quite often, that's what we do. But since we don't focus on that consciously, in order to release it and let it go, we don't have to focus on what we're releasing and letting go. It is also about having faith in the innate wisdom of our spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional bodies, knowing exactly what it's time to let go and release. So just find this space within yourself. The Universal Love Galactivation is an opportunity to expand your heart space. It is an opportunity to, in this moment, shore up the foundation of who you are. There's a little bit of a trap in being here at this conference. So if we recognize what the possible trap is, It allows our energy to work around it. This conference, Free Your Mind 2, is of the utmost importance for all of us that are here as attendees, as speakers, as vendors. Also for this city and for the energetic of the entire collective, because this energetic travels out. The trap that's here is when we take this as another overwhelming distraction, as in our life experience, the opportunity to be distracted is in front of us at all times. What is it distracting us from? It's distracting us from the inner journey. What's the most important aspect of us being here? It is the inner journey. We create from the inside out. Looked over the list of speakers today. Absolutely amazing presenters here. But the information is very heavy. The information is very intense. The warning is to watch your energy. The warning is to not give up your power. We have been so conditioned in this culture to give up our power. This information is another opportunity for you to give up your power. It's a greater opportunity for you to find your empowerment within this information. Not for this information to stop us in our tracks and crush us, but for this information to assist us in standing in our power to do what we came here to do. But my friends, the distraction of what this information is about is as much of a trap as it is to stay in the slumber that so many others in the collective are experiencing. Use this information to be a positive trigger. You're here for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. You are experiencing this for a reason. It is not to create more stress and struggle in your life and in your experience. It is to assist you in the true reason, the why of your existence, the reason that you are here as an embodied human. So as you are listening to this, as you are listening to the other speakers over the next 3 days, if you find yourself in a moment of constriction, the energy gets heavy, the information becomes a little bit overbearing, it's up to you as the alchemist of your life, the alchemist of the energies that are presented to you, the energies that come to you, to take and find what it takes, what process is being called forth to take that energy and to open it up to truly serve you.
We have managed to really create a new timeline here, and this is what's so incredible about the information, because we stand on the other side of it in many ways. And with that comes great responsibility to help guide our friends and family in the most understanding and compassionate way that we can. Before this information, I think many of us have known that there's something wrong, that there's some sort of darkness that we can't really put our finger on or explain. And the beauty is now we have the information. Now we can really look at where on a root level we are preventing ourselves from bringing all that we are forward, our divine blueprint, our autonomy, our freedom to think for ourselves. And that's just another huge piece to it, because as we listen, it's up to us to assimilate and digest the information and really decide what it means for us. Because we're not here to be controlled by anything that we're here. We're here to understand on an individual level how we can personally break free, and then stand as the example, not enforcing that particular way on somebody else, but sharing the information while appreciating the uniqueness of the soul journey and how we each get to a certain place on maybe a different speed or way to, really move the energy. But it is about creating another timeline, and this timeline is not something that can really be predicted. It's not something that they can even track at this point, because the old timeline was to absolutely control us. It wasn't to really allow this opening and this crack to be initiated that we've been able to manifest. It's been the absolute sabotage of our organic ascension. And so what's wonderful about the warrior spirit is that when you notice this and you take a stand and you stand in your power and you move it into a whole other expression, it's like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. It's not necessarily even the same form on a cellular level. And this is what we're emerging into, is creating this whole new timeline that's beyond any kind of alien agenda. It has to do this with the sovereignty of each individual, our inner truth, our connection to source, and our creative freedom to be able to manifest and appreciate the lessons in life that help us to understand integrity and what it means to be a very embodied person on a spiritual level, without needing to glamorize it or making it something that some of us have and others don't, because we all have it. We're all spiritual beings. And we don't need to complicate it. It's just a true essence of who we are in connection to Mother Earth and the cosmos. And our energetic bodies receive this force of nature very naturally. And its intelligence only knows how to regenerate and heal. Every time we injure ourselves, it's an automatic response. And as the last speaker was talking about the immune system, it's the spirit energy and the positive energy and the unification that builds it on the planetary level and on the personal level. And so each contribution we make has to do with this personal inner empowerment, which connects to others, which amplifies the light, and increases the planetary body's ability to rid itself of parasitic dark forces. And so when we get in touch with the information, it's not about getting immersed in the problem or the disease or the dysfunction. It's recognizing just the beauty of spirit that can come out of it, that can say, this is what's been lacking. This is what we've been giving away. And the minute we hold it again and take it back, it's like magic. Everything else just starts to follow. Just like when we recover from something, maybe we had some ailment, the minute the immune system's activated, it just starts to disappear. It takes little effort, and it's very simple. And the simplicity is love, and it's unification, and that's what we're all here together to enjoy while we forge this new timeline, which is going to lift us out of this time loop and bring us back into a certain freedom that we haven't seen in thousands and thousands of years, which represents our freedom to come and go from the physical as we please, and inspire others as examples to join in and absolutely own our liberation here on this planet.
Everything is energy. How we present ourselves is energy. We are beacons of what we hold on to within ourselves. And so our stories are energy. How we share our stories and the level of that sharing is how we give and share energy with those around us. So I invite you to, at some time this weekend, we're going to meet a lot of people. We're going to be sharing our stories. I invite you to spend some time being the observer of what you're sharing. being the observer of the energetic that you're carrying. And there's one question to ask in that process, and that is, does the energy that I'm carrying and sharing, does it raise the frequency of the people around me? Is it assisting the evolution of the collective? Because this is one of the gifts that we each have as individual pieces of the collective, is the opportunity to raise the frequency, but you have free will, so you have the opportunity to lower the frequency also. On my own journey, in my own experience, I found that my own stories at a certain point in my life were not about raising the frequency. They were about drawing other people in to validate the poor me trip, the victim, whatever it was that I was experiencing. And I was using my energy to draw people into that. And they fell right into place. You know this in your own lives. You sit there, you talk to someone, maybe over coffee or tea, you say what a terrible
accomplishment. And it's changing everything. It's leveling out. It loosens up that density that people are holding. It gives that clarity and that inspiration to say, wow, you know, this heaviness is not mine. I don't need to carry that. Whatever's putting our DNA down to just the lowest of levels has nothing to do with genetic inheritance. It has to do with consciousness that is being suppressed, that is not expanded into all that it is. And simply doing that is what upgrades us, is recognizing that there's so much more to who we are. And once we recognize that, it lights up what's dormant and what's available. And so it's a multidimensional experience, what we're going through right now on every single level. And that's what's so amazing about being here. And when we hear the speakers, we get to go on that journey and unearth ourselves and dig who we truly are out of whatever's been covering it up. And then whatever remains, allowing that divine spark to absolutely transform the heaviness and the programmings and the belief systems that have kept us in lockdown, so that we can truly be the divine human that we are.
You absolutely hold the key. When we say that one person makes a difference, there's no greater truth than that. If you don't believe that you make a difference, you're missing out. I'm quite, I really love the information that David Hawkins has brought out. His book, Power versus Force, if you've not read it, is a most amazing book. And one of the things that Hawkins did was create the map of consciousness. And it's a scale that goes from 0 to 1,000. So don't worry about the numbers, just kind of, we're working with a scale here. And this is the scale, the map of human consciousness. And the tipping point is at, the first tipping point in the scale of 0 to 1,000 is at 200. And this is where we move out of force and we move into power. At 500, we connect with love. At 700 and above, we're moving into enlightenment. And so in this research, everything falls somewhere on the map of consciousness. Each of us as individuals, everything has a level on the map of consciousness. And one of the statistics that we read recently was that 78% of the population of the planet comes in at under 200. Now, this number would create quite a kind of constriction within us if it wasn't for the fact that the numbers just don't double. Like if you go from 200 to 400, you're not just doubling it, it's exponentially a greater energetic. And so what they found is that one person coming in over 600 on the map of consciousness makes up for 10 million people coming in under 200. Okay? You make a difference. You are here to make a difference. And the only thing that stops you from making a difference is not anything outside of you. Okay, close your eyes for a moment because I want to repeat that. And I want to repeat it where you're not distracted and you're in the inner journey. Everything about this experience is based on you. You're here to make a difference. And there's nothing stopping you outside of you from making that difference. We can stop ourselves. We can create our blocks and energetics that don't allow us to do what we came here because we have free will. We can get lost and go down the wrong path. We can decide that maybe we want to be just a little bit awake instead of fully awake. You get to make those decisions. You get to make it based on your attention and based on your intention. In your mind right now, take a moment to reaffirm why you're here. Not why you're here at Free Your Mind, but why you're here on this planet with the rest of us. Are you here to make a difference? Are you here to raise the frequency of the planet? Are you here to share all the love that you are and look for opportunities in every moment to become even more than that? Is that what it's about for you? Commit to it right now. Recommit to it. Rededicate yourself to it. What else is there? Take that free will, step it up to the highest energetic, the highest frequency of which you're about. Each of us here in our process of becoming. In each moment, we're becoming. There's no mistake about what you see when you look at the world. Beautiful reflections. Some maybe not so beautiful, but in a sense those are beautiful also. You're playing your role in the co-creation of this experience. If it's too painful, if it's too taxing, if it's too uncomfortable, look within yourself and see where those pieces are connected. We can assist you with this. This is what we're here for. Over 7 billion beings on this planet right now. I like to think of us each as puzzle pieces. One giant jigsaw puzzle of the collective. I don't know how long it's been since you put a jigsaw puzzle together. Lots of pieces, each of them different. Each of them needed to make the complete picture. One piece is not more important than the other. We don't look at the puzzle pieces and judge them. Oh, this is a good one, this is a bad one. We dump out the puzzle pieces and we look at them and we know that they all play a role. They all fit. You're one of those pieces. You're one of those 7 billion plus pieces. It's not about you judging yourself against any of the other pieces.
How boring would it be if we were all here to do the exact same thing? Your role is no more important and no less important than anyone else's role. The most important thing is to recognize, acknowledge, and accept responsibility for your role. Or maybe just accept responsibility that you have a role, and then start going about identifying what that role is. We have a holistic healing practice in Southern California, and we have people come to us all the time asking, why are they here? What's the reason? Look at your lives. When are those times in your life that you have been in the greatest bliss? When you felt so blessed, it almost felt like too much, but that's just because your past experiences gave you a deep contrast. What were you doing when you felt that? What's your greatest passion? You know, a lot of times we ask that question and people want to relate it to, what can I make money at? It's putting the cart before the horse. Source does not want you to identify what you can make money at. Source is inviting you to identify what you love, what is your passion, what creates an expansive heart space for you. That's what Source is asking of you. When we settle into that, when we identify that and move in that direction, your needs will be taken care of. It's just energy. Money, it's just energy. Don't go out looking for money. Go out looking for your heart. Go out looking for what achieves what you're here to achieve. How you can share your gifts. Money will come. The struggles will go away. Remember the saying, it's not bull. Find what you love doing and you'll never work another day in your life. That's true. That resonates in the very core of your being. That makes it possible to get out of the bed in the morning with a smile. For us to brave the traffic in Southern California and not have an issue with it. That's a big energetic. We get to decide. We get to make this as wonderful as we choose, and we get to make it as challenging and as uncomfortable as we choose also. Maybe future Free Your Mind conferences, maybe, just maybe, could have a different name. Maybe next year, it's Free Your Heart. Maybe our minds have been a little too free, and we didn't integrate enough with our hearts. Maybe Free Your Mind is appropriate, because Free Your Mind and your heart will follow. Again, it's the stories, and we get to decide how it works. So if this information this weekend is allowing you to free your mind, you make sure you don't lose that heart connection. You make sure that you integrate the mind and the heart and allow that to guide you. Embracing all aspects of ourselves because it's who we are.
Another important thing to do is to ask yourself where you're buying into any sort of program. Because it's our buying into it that keeps us trapped. And buying into a program is something that we do very unconsciously, but it's the only thing that really makes all these tools work. Chemtrails, implants, chipping, maybe those are some unfamiliar terms, but we're dealing with technology. We're not just dealing with things we see on TV or distortions of the masculine and feminine. We're also dealing with technology that can really ensnare us into these programmings. But when we lift ourselves out of it, they don't really work on us. Similar to healing, none of the tools that a healing practitioner has are going to work unless we already buy into the fact that we can absolutely heal. So none of these manipulative technologies are going to work if we stay free of getting immersed in the programmings, which includes the distortions of the masculine and feminine, the things we see in the news and we fall prey to, when we watch the headlines about Boston or anything that's going on in the news. We have to ask ourselves, what are we buying into? How much are we letting ourselves be taken by this information? Because that's when the rest of the tools work. The chemtrails, the implants, because we have to be in a lower density on an emotional and mental level for any of that stuff to work, because that's the dimensional energy these technologies come in on. Our frequency is so much higher than that it renders it incapable of trapping us if we can allow ourselves not to buy into it. We have to buy into our ability to heal, the tools and modalities that can assist us in overcoming what this information is doing. We are the higher technology, we are the most advanced technology, but if we stay in these lower realms of heavy emotions and getting locked into fear and trying to solve 3D problems in 3D ways, then we're not taking advantage of the fact that we are in a higher dimension right now. We're in alignment with the galactic plane. And on a cosmic and earthly level, we're receiving far greater energies than what we're seeing in the news and what the collective is holding us to. So if we want to get beyond chemtrails and all these different things, it's not about, stopping the planes from flying, because that's going to be really difficult. We're going to really lose ourselves to that battle. We have to understand that the physics is different in higher dimensions. And our ability to transmute these toxins and these insults are far greater when our minds and our hearts and our energies are not getting stuck in these programs and buying into it. And that's exactly why it doesn't, because if it was just easy enough to chip us and control us through
Terrible day you're having, and what do they say? Oh my goodness, yes, I know how it is, that stuff sucks, whatever. They validate you. Not because they're trying to keep you stuck, they actually think that they're assisting you. So how are you working energy? And this is a perfect opportunity this weekend to identify that for ourselves. Seeing ourselves in interaction with people we're just meeting. People who share similar interests. What's the highest level that each of us can take the experience of being here this weekend? How can we take all of this, and granted, some of this is you already know this, you're here, but you're going to know more and more as the speakers come on. It can be a difficult energy. And so I'm just calling your attention, and then if you choose your intention being specific desired outcome. Well, I hope we all share the intention of the specific desired outcome of raising the frequency for the collective at Free Your Mind this weekend. Of anchoring energy here in Philadelphia that serves this city and reflects back the true nature of what brotherly love is all about. This is the opportunity that we have here. And then beyond that, we have the opportunity to take these stories at the highest level, to take this information and take it back to our circle of friends and to our families, to our communities. And again, being very mindful to be sharing it at the highest level. We look around, I was able to listen to part of the last speaker. You know all about the fluoride I know all about chemtrails, all the other stuff. So, what really keeps us from feeling crushed by all this? What really allows us to not feel manipulated, to feel empowered? And it's how you carry your energy. I was going to say how you work your energy, and I thought that sounds like way too much work. How you play with your energy. Remember, the experience as an embodied human is to be fun also. Okay? There's no reason that being here in this energetic can't be fun. I know we're all challenged. Believe me, I know we're all challenged. And we know what it's like. But we have community. Take a moment just to look around. And actually, don't just look. See the people that are around you. Look at the faces. Okay, there's absolutely no mistake who's in this room right now. There's absolutely no mistake who you're recognizing. We look at each other, and whether we've met before or not, there's a recognition. It's not a recognition from the eyes. This is a recognition that is centered in our hearts. And we're here to support each other. We're here to energetically make ourselves available. We each have a piece for each other. Last year, right around Halloween, the planet topped 7 billion beings. 7 billion beings choosing to come here and embody as humans for an experience. An experience that's about growing, learning, and evolving. This is why we look back at our lives, and if I were to say to you right now, hey, I'm Dr. Dream, and I have this amazing ability to assist you in going back to any time in your life and doing something different. I bet you'd all line up at our table over the vendor space. Because I bet you're just like me, that looking back on your life, there are situations, aspects of your experience that if you could go back to, you most definitely would. For me, maybe there's something I said that I would go back and keep my mouth shut and not say. And maybe there's another time that there's something I didn't say that I so desperately wanted to say. And maybe my actions at one time or another, I would go back and fine-tune a little bit. Now again, these are stories. There's a couple of ways to look at this. One can be, my God, I've made so many freaking mistakes in this life. What the hell is going on? It's a little bit constrictive. The other way to look at it is, you know, we didn't really come here to be perfect angels. I mean, on the contrary, I believe as perfect angels, we chose to come here to grow, learn, and evolve. If you can look back at any time in your life and say to yourself, if Dr. Dream could assist me in going back there, I would do something differently, give yourself a pat on the back. Cut yourself some slack. Give yourself some love, because what it means is you learned the lesson. It means that experience served you at the highest level. It means that if that experience came around again, you would handle it differently. You don't need to go back and do anything over or do anything differently. The mere fact that you can identify those times in your life means that you have grown, you have learned, you have evolved. You are addressing in each moment the why of your existence. And what else is there? Each moment is an opportunity to more further immerse yourself in the why. The why are you here? What are all those life experiences that you've had, the ones that in the past, but after today you won't refer to them as the good, the bad, the ugly, because now you know that every single one of them served you. Every single one of those experiences gave you something. Recently, Laura and I, on our radio show, Awaken the Dream Radio, had an opportunity to interview a couple of the speakers that are going to be here. Kathy O'Brien and Mark Phillips. I'm sure you've heard of them. Kathy's story is a bit intense, and I would say that that's probably a gross misunderstatement. What impressed me the most about Kathy O'Brien, based on everything that she's gone through. You want to talk about experiences that have the opportunity to crush the human spirit? She had them. And in double, triple, quadruple doses, okay? What impressed me about Kathy O'Brien is her positive attitude, is the energy she holds. If I have a little bit of a challenge in my day, all I need to do is think about Kathy O'Brien and what she's done to come out on the other side of her experience. And why? To assist others. She has, on one level, every reason in the world to hold on to the energetic of being a victim, to allow her spirit to be crushed. But like everyone in this room, and everyone that's ever going to watch this, she has free will. We can stay stuck. We can stay in a lower energetic because we have free will, because we have the choice to do that. But the other side of the coin addresses why you're here. The other side of that coin, connecting the dots, why did I have the experiences I had? What did those experiences give to me that play into the why of my existence, why I'm here, what I'm here to do? Let's just cut to the core of the matter. Every single experience you've ever had has given you a piece that you need for the reason why you chose to be here now, embodied as the human that you are. If we start to look at our experience and judge it as anything other than serving, we are undermining every reason why we are here and breathing. There's a gift in this. Kathy O'Brien can find it and can find the light in all of that darkness. I'd suggest that we all can. Look to the speakers this weekend for inspiration, for examples. It's not easy for everyone to get up here and share and speak. But they're doing it. We're all doing this because this is part of what we have to share. You know, as my most incredible partner, Laura Eisenhower, talks about, it's the alchemy. It's taking something that's a lower frequency and it is turning it into something that is a higher frequency. And that is something that we all can do. It's not just limited to a select few. We all have that ability.
As Dr. Dream's talking about how this can be fun, one thing I always sort of see us as architects for creating heaven on earth. And so as any sort of architect or construction worker would find is that there's some demolition that needs to take place, And in the process of rebuilding, we might hit our hand on a hammer or get slammed by a hammer or have a little accidents here and there that cause a little bit of discomfort. It's not about doing it all perfectly and being so almost caught up in how to carry the best energy that we're hard on ourselves. It's understanding that this is almost like a project. This is just a major act of service on our part to come and take down the old and rebuild the new. As observers, noticing and seeing how much is off and how hard we are on ourselves. I mean, what we're emerging from is mass manipulation, social engineering, mind control that is so severe that when we walk around and we make mistakes or we don't treat our relationships in the best way or we're not treating ourselves in the best way, we have to not hold the guilt. We have to understand, wow, I'm surviving, I'm recovering, I'm getting myself back from something that wanted me to be that person, who wanted my relationships to fail, who wanted me to be immersed in addiction and not embrace my family for this or that reason. And I'm speaking for all of us. What we've survived is not something that we need to be so hard on ourselves for. We need to recognize that our ability to want to change and take it to a higher level is where we need to validate ourselves, because it takes great strength and it takes great perseverance. And that's the beauty of what we all came here with, is that we're not going to play that game. We're not going to be a product of this mind control. We're going to be demolition agents, and we're going to be the builders of this new reality. And it's not something that even needs to be built. It's what we are revealing and unearthing. We're taking away all that's covered it up, all that's buried it, and we're revealing something that is within us all, that this planetary body holds. This Mother Earth, Gaia, is so divine. It's like it's unlike any other planet in the cosmos. And her power is so available to us, just through our feet chakra, just through our crown, just the amount of spiritual energy from our higher selves from source, mixing together in this physical reality is what creates that alchemy. And it's really just turning the programmings and the stuff that we've held on to into something that's already there by capturing that divine spark that exists within all form and illuminating it and blasting away just the stuff that doesn't need to be there anymore. So it's alchemical, but it's also just exposing what's real, exposing what's always been there. And so it's construction, but it's also archaeology. We're archaeologists of the soul, for the planet, for ourselves, digging deep into the truth of who we really are, while layers upon layers of false realities have covered it up. And so it takes a lot of courage to just be this real with ourselves. So instead of holding on to what could have been done different or where we went wrong, just unmask yourself from it and reveal the truth, because that was all a part of this game that we're in, is to cause us to become separate, broken, addicted, and immersed in this 3D matrix. And we've proven that that's just not where it's going to be at. The power of who we are is way stronger. And so that's what we come together to really strengthen when we come to events like this, is that incredible economy. Then we wouldn't have the media distortions, we wouldn't have the false flags. What it's asking is that we're little mice and we bite the cheese and we trap ourselves and we get locked in the pain and we don't know a way out. But those tools will not work if we refuse the programs. One follows the other. So we have the choice to move in the direction of healing and transformation, and there's all sorts of tools that will assist us in that. And so that's really what our free will has in front of us right now, is which one do we want to choose? Do we want to battle, or do we want to liberate ourselves through our energetic relationship to everything? Because those planes can still fly in the sky and you can look at it and say, that has no power over me, rather than how the hell are we going to take this down? Because that's not how the battle's going to be won. It's a consciousness war. It's all about energy. That's why it's mind control, because the minute our thoughts are theirs, everything else follows, and our bodies shut down and our abilities shut down. And that's why Free Your Mind is about getting that energy back and saying, I have an imagination and I have creativity. We are artists. No matter what gets thrown on the canvas, even if it wasn't asked for, we have the ability to look at it through the eyes of a creator and say, you know what, that can turn into something beautiful. No matter what stain or mark or scar there is, There's some way to move it into a vibration of beauty and to recognize the wisdom that comes from it and how fluid reality actually is. It is not fixed. That's exactly what they're trying to do, is fix us. And that's not where we need to go. And that's the power of who we are, is we are limitless. And limitations are self-induced and are also enforced upon us from the minute we're born. But this is a part of being a rebellious spirit, and we don't have to do it with anger. We can do it with just inspiration and being an example, and just learning the word no, absolutely refusing, but saying, but I choose love. Not the negative route, but love. And just the recognition of what we are capable of. And this is the imagination. It also links to the psychic mind and clairvoyance. If you can see it, you can create it. But the imagination can also get locked in delusion and fear. And so just pay attention to where your energy goes. And no matter how dark and heavy it gets this weekend, just remember that everything is cyclical, including death. And you can just take it and just keep turning it until everything that is possible is liberated from the depths of the darkness that is holding it hostage. So we just thank you so much for coming, and this has been Nina Cuthbert.
Powerful messages. Such a wonderful opportunity to be doing this experience and sharing this energetic at the beginning of Free Your Mind. I look for inspiration in the individuals that make up the collective. That's what I'm all about. I look at each of you and I look to be inspired. And I find my inspiration in each of you. And it assists me in continuing to do what I do. I don't have to look very far at Free Your Mind 2 this weekend in Philadelphia to find inspiration. Michael Falsetta, Mark Paseo, Jay Parker, and the entire team that they have brought together at the highest level to present this conference to you are all about inspiration. They're all about knowing the why of their existence and not letting anything stop them from stepping into this to assist us, everyone in this room, everyone that will ever watch these presentations. But it doesn't stop there, my friends, because it's all energy, and energy knows no boundaries whatsoever. And this energy anchors right here in Philadelphia and goes out to the entire collective, this entire planet. Our responsibility this weekend, led by these three leaders and their amazing team, is to take this information and to assimilate it and be the alchemist and bring it to the highest level that's going to allow you a little more fire to go out and do what you came to do here. It's going to allow you an energetic to be the change you wish to see in the world. This is what we have available to us. Laura and I are set up in the vendor space. We're doing combined sessions on people. We've got some mini sessions we're doing also. We're all about frequency. And so stop by the table, and I'd love to talk to you and give you an experience of what it takes to raise your frequency in a moment. Just in a moment. Any other questions or anything else? We've got our business cards and everything. All of our information has my cell phone number on it. I'm that person that you can reach out to at any time. 2 or 3 in the morning on the East Coast or the West Coast. You have something you want to talk about, you can call me. Okay, this is the role that I play. This is part of the why of my existence. So take my card, put my cell phone number in your cell phone, and when you need to be reminded of how freaking incredible you are, and how important of a role you're here to play, and how we really can't do this without you, but more importantly, we don't want to do this without you, you give me a call, and I'll be that reminder for you, because all of that is true. And so Michael and the rest of the team, thank you so much for this opportunity. And to each of you as participants, okay, no, not as just people sitting in the pews, okay, but as participants, sharing energy, having conversations that serve your highest selves and the collective. I honor you and I thank you, and I open up my heart as big and huge as I possibly can, and I share all that love with you. Thank you so much. Woo. I got so carried away. I want to thank, I have 3 angels here. We call them our band of angels. And we find these embodied angels wherever we go. And we had on the singing bowl back here, Ross Ben, and on the didgeridoo, Patria, and our friends with the California Student Corps, and I don't know his name, but he's doing something very special tomorrow, right back here, and so you'll want to find him. And I thank you for bringing in this energy, and I thank all of you for creating this grid that we all get to tap into.